Richician.
Hey, Yugi, Richician 84 here, and welcome, welcome to Q&A number 62. Let's kick this off. So the first question, right at the bottom, is from John Cross. If you was going to run, a lot of extravagance in your Yu-Gi-Oh decks, what Yu-Gi-Oh decks would you play it in? Yeah, this has been asked like twice in a row, like here and in a deck profile video. Like, what's your obsession with extravagance? Um, well, I already do play it in some decks. Not every deck though, because well, most decks kind of need the extra deck to be able to play. Um, but I'm going to list the decks that I do play it in: Blackluster Soldier, Exodia, small spaceships, toons, Earthbound Immortals, um, and if we're also going to include online decks as well, the Destiny board and Sky Scourge Karibo. That's basically it. Um, Now, I did play it in my Magician Girl deck, but ended up taking it out because I found that it was more of a hindrance than a help. Now, even though Magician Girls don't use the extra deck that much, they still do use it and kind of need the monsters in there. Especially Quintet Magician, because there were a few too many times where Extravagance banished the Quintet, and it screwed me over. It's like, uh, it just ruined my chances of making a comeback. I tried to get around this by um, bumping it from 1 to 3 to decrease the chances of any copies getting banished. Problem was, there were a couple of games where I activated Extrav and I still lost all 3 copies of Quintet, so I just dropped Extravagance altogether. Not to mention it did clash a bit with Chocolate Magician Girl and Spellbook of Knowledge. But regardless, it's still a great card, and I prefer it over Desires. Like, I really don't like Pot of Desires. The cost is too steep and the risk is too high. I mean, yeah, it's good in some decks, but not everything. And I know you can get around it by playing free of everything, but um, I just don't think it's that great. I was like, what if you banish something that you need? Um, yeah, it can mess you up if you're not careful. Like, I don't even know why Blue Eyes and Dark Magician players play it in their decks. Like, I just don't think it's a good card for those decks. Again, it's like, what if you banish all 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magician? Like, you're fucked if that happens. And apparently, that actually did happen to a Blue Eyes player in this big tournament. Like, he played Desires, banished all 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then he had to scoop. Now, you could argue that you can just play a load of draw cards and search cards first to get all 3 copies out of the deck, uh, but what if you don't see them? You know, I don't know. I just think Desires is the most overrated card in the game. But Extrav, still great in the right deck. Next questions are from Yu-Gi-Oh! Master. Um, 1. What is the strongest Yu-Gi-Oh! Card ever made? Well, apparently, from what I've heard, that would be Thousand Eyes Virus, a card which Kevin Tewart owns. And it's not clear what exactly it does because it's never been released to the public. Um, I mean, I can't think what else would fall under that category, but apparently that one is the strongest one. Uh, 2. What is the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh card you own? I feel like that would be my Ghost Rare Dark Magician from Ghosts from the Past 1. Either that or Dark Magician Girl in Ghost Rare. Wait, no, it would actually be Dark Magician because it was going for around £700. I think it's almost a grand. Um, yeah, I definitely say that. Um, I know all the ghost rares I have are very expensive, but um, see, the thing is, I'm not good with card values. See, I don't know what cards are generally valued at, and it's kind of annoying when people keep asking me what the value on certain cards are, and I'm like, I don't know what you're asking me for. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna say Dark Magician. 3. Who is Yugi's father? I have absolutely no idea. There's never been any hint of who he is in the anime. 4. Which Yu-Gi-Oh packs are best to buy that give me the best chance of uh, packing rares? Well, I assume you mean pulling expensive hollows. Again, this kind of goes against one of my Q&A rules um, because I did say no advice questions. Um, but it's hard to say really. But from what I've heard, megatins are the best things to go for. Um, and getting stuff from the mega packs. Um, that might be your best bet. 5. I was at my local gaming night, and apparently everyone who comes is autistic. Is this the same as your gaming nights? Um, yeah, there are a few people at my uh, at the Yu-Gi-Oh club I go to that are autistic, and they're dear friends of mine. Like, I enjoy hanging out with them and playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Um, 6. What's it like having a girlfriend? I only have a blow-up doll to keep me company. I guess it will do. Okay, maybe too much information. Um, but to answer the question, it's just great having a girlfriend. It's one of the best things ever, if not the best thing. Um, it's just nice to feel loved, especially by someone who just accepts me for who I am, loves me for who I am. Um, especially after being single for so long and having too much bad luck with women in the past. Um, yeah, having that special lady in your life is truly amazing. Um, um, and yeah, a girlfriend is definitely worth the wait after um, being alone for so long, or vice versa if your woman a boyfriend. Um, yeah, or of course, this also applies to either sex, really, depending on uh, your sexuality. Oh, I hope you know what I mean. 7. Do you find it hard when Yu-Gi-Oh players want your autograph, being a famous Yugi tube? Well, I'm not really that famous. There's Yugi tubers who are a lot more famous than I am. Like, even though I've been doing this longer, if not, uh, well, even though I've been one of the longest running YouTubers and have been doing it since 2007, um, yeah, only one person asked for my autograph, as far as I remember. Nobody else has. Um, so I guess it's not hard at all. Then again, I don't go to a lot of events and stuff. Um, so having my autograph asked for isn't likely to happen. At least not anytime soon, or not that much. Um, and there's two questions from Matt and Alison Welch. One, do you think we will ever get a Rainbow Neos fusion like Rainbow Dark Neos, a fusion between Elemental Hero Neos and Rainbow Dark Dragon specifically? Um, I don't know. I doubt it. Not many Dark counterparts are being made nowadays. Like unlike back in 2008 and 9. Um, then again, there's a small chance it could happen. I just wonder what kind of effect he'd have. Um, Maybe something that involves, like, instead of sending stuff the opponent has back to the deck, they just send it to the graveyard. Um, or maybe instead of turning the entire opponent's deck to the graveyard, it just gets banished instead, which would be kind of nasty, to be honest. God, I wouldn't want to run that if it had that effect. Um, as you guys know me, I don't really want to resort to banishing opponents' monsters, like, unless I have to. Um, Two, out of all the cards you own or have seen over the years, excluding Dark Magician, which artwork of these cards do you consider the most beautiful one? Um, that's a tough one to call. I think regarding cards I own, I'd probably say Majestic Star Dragon, one of my favourite synchros. Otherwise, I guess Appaloosa, like the original art. I mean, it's not something I've ever owned. Actually, wait, or do I? I think I might have picked one up from my Egyptian god deck. Um, Let me double check. But yeah, it's not something that I generally use myself, but it does have great artwork. Oh yeah, I do own one, but it's a gold rare with the alternate art. Yeah, that's what I choose. Next 7 questions are from Weber's 5. 1. Token you would like to see printed in a future OTS. I know you don't play tournaments, but I know sometimes you do pick up tokens from packs. That's a good question, actually. Um, like, uh, would this be like a brand new token, or can it be an old one? Um, I'm not quite sure, because I can't think what newer tokens I'd like to see. If we're counting old ones, um, I think I'd like to see Fires of Doomsday, or a double do token, because, well, I like Destiny Heroes, and I do use Fires of Doomsday in a couple of my decks. Random All Stars. Wait, yeah, I do use it in Random All Stars, Earthbound Immortals, and Toons. I know I've got some homemade Doomsday tokens, but I would like to get some proper tokens. Um, 2. How many individual copies of Dark Magician do you own? Oh shit! I was meant to do a count on how many I have. Like I forgot to do that before this Q&A started. Um, Wish I did this beforehand. But to be honest, I've lost track. Um, can I be bothered to count them right this second? I don't know. Um, let's see. Now I've got one in that starter deck Yugi Reloaded. Uh, Starter deck box that I've got over there. One in that binder. Let's see. 2 in Dark Magician Hero, 1 in Legendary Hero. So that's 2, 4, 5. Legendary Hero 6. My Yugi deck. Um, let's see, 3 in my Dark Magician deck. That's 8. 1 in Random All Stars. That's 9. 1 in Magician Girls. That's 10. Um, we'll go through. It's fine. So I've got my favourites binder here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh god. 16. There is a 17th one here. Yep, 17. Um, Here's my actual Dark Magician collection. So yeah, I said 17, didn't I? Yeah. Add on 9, 26, 35, 35 plus 8, 43, 52, 61, 70, 79, 88, 97, 106, 115, 124, 133, 142, 151, 160, 169, 178, 187, 196, 205, 214, 223, 232, 241, 250, 251. See, I knew it was round about that. Now I've got to go through my Pops format decks. 253, 255, 256, 257, 259, 260, 262, 263. Jesus Christ. Yeah, 263, 265, 268, 270, 272, 274, 276, 278. Yeah, I think that's right. Already counted that one. No others there. So what are we on? 278, yeah? 279 if we're counting this orca. Let's see, none in that one. Impossible. Oops. That's in place now. Ladies and gentlemen, I have exactly 280 Dark Magicians. That's insane. And I only wanted to end up with 100 in the first place, but I just kept accumulating them. But if we're including my trade binder as well, by the way, I don't trade online before anyone asks. Yeah, there's 7 in here, so technically I own 287. Oh wait, I didn't include the one in my Ghost Wreck collection, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, so 288, which means I officially have 281 that I don't want to part with. Damn! And that number will continue to climb whenever we get a new TCG printing of Dark Magician. 3. Errata you'd like to see? I'd like a mystical ref panel reprint that makes it easier to understand. Can't really think of anything, to be honest. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'd like Eternal Soul reprinted so that it gets rid of the drawback where if it leaves the field, destroy all monsters you control. I've said this before, but I don't think that's a very fair drawback. Like, it's one of several cards within the Dark Magician archetype that just have really unnecessary ones, whereas almost every Blue Eyes card seems to have no drawback at all, whereas Dark Magician and Red Eyes just seem to get the short straw. Um, Even though Red Eyes gets the shorter straw. um, 4. Got any interesting decks you're working on? Well, originally I would have said no, but then I acquired a Jinzo core from Express Gaming, which either he or Gamer Central were going to play, and now I'm working on a Jinzo deck. Like, it's nearly finished. I need Psychic Wave to finish it off. Um, and I also need Monster Reborn, which I'm going to get off Express Gaming next time I see him. Or I could just borrow one from an inactive deck core in the meantime. I don't think I got hold of Regeki, did I? Damn, I may have to get that out of another core. Um, but I am, of course, getting Twin Twisters and Change of Heart as well off Gungnir. They have yet to arrive, and so do the Psychic Waves. 5. Artwork that you really like, not necessarily the card itself or its effects, purely the artwork. I feel like this kind of came up earlier in the episode. Um, I mean, again, I'm going to say Majestic Star Dragon and Appaloosa. There's lots of cards with really nice artwork. It's really hard to pick and choose, really. Um, those two are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. 6. Monster lore that you really like. I love the Draco Slayer lore, and I love how the new support completes how the lore ends. Each new Draco Slayer is named after their corresponding archetype's field spell. That was something else I was meant to look into before the episode. Um, but now that you mention it, there is one that I do really like, the Prophecy one. Um, and it was something that an old Yugi tuber, Croa Cresta, did cover. Like how it mainly follows the story of the Fool of Prophecy, and how he's friends with Temperance and Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Um, and I think Justice is his grandmother, if I remember correctly. Not quite sure. And I believe Emperor and Empress are his parents, if I'm remembering right. Obviously, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, and then Spellbook of the Master corrupted Fool and turned him into Reaper of Prophecy. Um, and then he was defeated, then revived with Spellbook of Life, and then he became the World of Prophecy. Um, yeah, that one was a really cool one. I like that one, especially considering that it is one of my favourite archetypes. Um, Definitely up there in the top 20. Um, this was something I was going to ask in one of your Q&As, like your thoughts on the prophecies and spell books, but I guess I don't really need to, since obviously you play the engine in Endymion. 7. Ever noticed that I used this Q&A to get even for that meme you posted? Take a look at the first letter of each question. Yeah, I did notice when I originally looked at it. Damn you! I mean, to be fair, you didn't even have to look at the meme I posted. I'm just saying. Um, and then I have another question from Matt and Alison Welch. Any thoughts on the new Dark Magician and Gaia the Dragon Champion fusion monster? Dark Magician the Magical Dragon Champion. I myself do like it. It's definitely not broken like Dragoon, which makes me happy, but still something to play for a casual fun duel. Yeah, I knew someone was going to ask me about it. I love this new fusion. It's and you're right, it is more fair and balanced than Dragoon. Then again, almost anything is more fair and balanced than Dragoon. Like, well, except for other monsters that negate everything. But anyway, yeah, I love it. I love how it pierces, and yes, I do like how it's basically a Dark Magician fusion version of Flame Wingman, another of my favourite cards. Like, I really like that. And I also love how it special summons both Dark Magician and Gaia the Dragon Champion if it bites the dust. I'm going to definitely try and make room for it in my extra deck and try and fit in a copy of Gaia the Dragon Champion, because why not? Like, it's a good excuse to play it in a deck. I mean, I know I do already play the original Dragon Champion in my Gaia Knight deck, but I'd like to throw it into Dark Magician anyway. Um, the problem is I'm starting to run out of space, but then again, I'm sure I can make the space because as I said in my profiles, I don't seem to go into a lot of my Xyz and Link monsters that much. I mean, the only Link monster I seem to summon is Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, whereas with my Xyzes, I find myself either going for Big Eye or Ebon Illusion Magician. Um, Red Ice Flare Metal I still do sometimes, whereas Draco Sack I hardly ever summon. So, if anything, I probably might just drop Draco Sack and the Nightmare package. So I can't think what else I'd want to drop. But I would definitely lean more towards making it more fusion based, like how Gungnir did his. Speaking of, the last four questions are from him. Uh, one, does Emma read manga? Does she like the Yuri manga? I've never even heard of the Yuri manga. No, she doesn't. It's never been her thing, really. She just reads regular books when she can. I don't even know how much she reads nowadays. Um, Two, thoughts about the new Dark Magician Gaia Flare Wingman fusion. Well, I already answered that question, so I don't need to again. Three, did you try Cyberjaw out in a deck yet? No, I haven't yet. I haven't really thought about what to put it in. I was thinking about putting it in my Jinzo deck, but um, I'm starting to run out of room. Um, the I very nearly finished building the deck, like as I said earlier in the episode, but then I thought, oh yeah, I need to make room for Psychic Way, so I'm going to need to tweak it again. I don't really know. Four, why do cats have 7 lives? I'm pretty sure it is 9 lives they have. Um, but then again, here's a sort of philosophical question, if that's even a word. Like, if cats really do have 9 lives or multiple lives, why do they never come back to life when they die? That's what I'd like to know. Um, unless it's some form of reincarnation. Um, uh, I mean, I'm just saying, would be nice if they uh, did actually come back to life after tragically dying. It's old age or something else. And that's it for questions in this episode. This was a longer one than I thought. That's what she said. Um, Thank you very much for your guys' questions. And if you've got any other questions you want to ask me, post them in the comments down below. And remember, I do these episodes every Tuesday afternoon, UK time. So be sure to get your questions in before then so that you don't miss out. Thanks again, stay safe, and I will catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Richician YouTube channel.